2, 1, go. Alright, we're going. We're live with the Speed Dogs, episode 4.
Yo.
Yeah. And, okay, so first and first, we have breaking news here. Breaking news. Alright, so obviously everyone knows the breaking news. We're well aware of the breaking news at this point, but I'm going to showcase the breaking news. Nonetheless, we got our good friend Bernard. I wanted to play the full Twitter trailer because it's so good. So we got our good friend Bernard here. So first of all, before we play the trailer, how do you feel about Bernard as a Canadian?
We don't have any good candidates in Canada, so I don't know. Bernie is awesome.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna play the clip. Give it a go.
Real change never takes place from the top on down, but always from the bottom on up.
I've watched this 7 times. It's so good.
7 times.
So good.
You haven't.
I have.
Tuition. Free college tuition.
I don't believe that.
Free tuition champion, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders added, the greatest threat
Tell
to
me about the
national
6th
security
time
is
you
climate
watched
change.
this.
The future of our planet is at
The 6th time you watched this.
taking on Amazon.
What was that like?
Bernie Sanders has been consistent
Really good.
hammering about income inequality.
It gets better every
Nobody in
time.
America works 40 hours a week, should be living in poverty. So our economy is rigged. We have a campaign finance system which is corrupt.
Sanders leading the charge to stop war against Yemen.
The first time ever the Senate has voted to end an unauthorized war.
The fight against injustice has been the work of his life.
Jobs and education, not jails and incarceration. We are not going to retreat on women's rights.
Sanders pushing a bold agenda that includes protecting DACA recipients and comprehensive immigration reform.
You don't rip little children away from the arms of their mother.
A major announcement from Amazon. Amazon will raise its minimum wage to $15 an hour. 350,000 workers. Thousands of workers at Disney World will get raises. It's a victory for Bernie Sanders.
It's a victory for all workers. Brothers and sisters, we have a lot of work in front of us.
So
If
good.
we are
It
prepared
is
to
good.
stand together, there is no
Did you spot any
end
Easter eggs in this
to
that I may have
the
missed?
great people of
It's
our nation.
the whole thing is an Easter egg. I don't know what to tell you. This is compare this to fucking all the other cringers and
Do
their
I compare
fucking.
it to one?
We're not gonna do that. It's a waste of everyone's time. But it's just everything. It's just knocking out of the park. Policy after policy. It's so good. It's such a good fucking god. I'm tingly.
You're tingly.
It's that good. It's just so good.
How does Doggy feel about that?
Doggy thinks it's really good too. Woof! Yeah. But honestly though, it's just every single point was just amazing. I don't know. It's just the editing, the speaking, the music. God. What a fucking God bless Bernard. I love Bernard. Oh jeez.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I love Bernard. Anyway, so it's just his Twitter's really good. I'm just scrolling his Twitter. It's just what an amazing man. All right, so I wanted to talk about a little bit more than just the campaign video. I just saw this CNN clip that I thought was really funny, and this will be a good springboard to talk about everything else I want to talk about regarding Bernie Sanders right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and send it to you too. Okay.
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
We were all here yesterday.
So I'm gonna start it, and this is just a short CNN clip that's just filled with a little bit of cringe, just a little bit of cringe. So, on go.
We were all here yesterday. The moment that Bernie
Yeah,
announced,
didn't
and one of the
go last
questions
time,
was,
so I just
will he
assumed-
be able to generate the same
I
fervor
don't
that
know.
he did 4 years ago? Financially, at least, $4 million in 12 hours is good.
Signs point to yes. That is an unbelievable haul, probably unprecedented. Put it in perspective,
These
in around
people are
4
fucking-
hours, he raised more money than Kamala Harris did in her
I
first
like-
day. Now look, it makes sense. He had a big presence in 2016, high name ID, high enthusiasm, and he specifically went out and called for low-dollar donations.
Okay,
from
so
volunteers.
CNN is
Boy,
just
did people
super
respond.
cringe.
And so I think it's a reasonable sign out of the gate that Bernie Sanders' momentum hasn't entirely dissipated. Since
Hasn't
2016.
entirely
More details on
dissipated.
that. The Bernie campaign says that the donations came from every state. About 150,000 individuals gave more than 4 million total, and mirrored the 2016 campaign's average donation of $27. This says that there is still a lot of enthusiasm for Bernie Sanders.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
I
think
agree.
The people who are going to be the Bernie loyalists are probably always going to be the Bernie loyalists, and unclear if the $4 million that were raised actually constitute support from the hardcore loyalists, or if it also is money coming from people who are still undecided.
What is this? What does this mean?
And is
Literally?
prone to giving probably
Literally?
small dollar donations
Literally, what
to a
does this
number of
mean?
the candidates. But
What does
again,
this
as we
mean?
talked
I don't
about
know what this
yesterday,
means. Why are you
is
saying this?
Bernie Sanders, this time around, entering a field with a number of other candidates in a way that he obviously did not last time around.
And again, if the average donation is $27, it means that all those people can give a lot more to him, or a lot more to anyone else too. It may be that some of these donors give to
What?
many different candidates at the same time.
What?
Oh god, this has been like non-stop on CNN. I've seen so many clips. It's just I just saw this one this morning. I was like, you know, we should probably just have something to talk about a springboard. But holy fuck, Washington Post made like I think it was 4 articles.
Right, I seen that too.
Right, about how like Bernie Sanders is like an evil socialist and his ideas are pie in the sky, but somehow every other candidate also supports them and we should support them instead because they want to actually do it. It's ridiculous. Like it is factually without any there's every scientific fact, right? Points to that Bernie is the front runner, right? But this is going to be their coverage. Are they going to give Bernie a town hall like they did for the other cringer? No. Why would they? Right? Because like, oh, it's a socialist. They're going to take my money. God, I fucking hate CNN.
Screw me.
Scoopy on what?
The town hall.
Oh, CNN was. I think they did a town hall for Amy Klobuchar, who's like the most irrelevant person in the race right now. I'm pretty sure it was Amy Klobuchar that did a town hall for, and it's just
Maybe they just felt bad.
God, maybe that's a good way to put it. Actually, maybe they just felt bad. Maybe. Yeah. So I mean, Bernie's running. You're not voting for Bernie, obviously, because
No, I'm not. I can tell you for sure I am not voting for Bernie.
Oh my god. I'm voting for Bernard. God bless Bernard.
I think it's
God
really
bless.
funny how they like focus so hard on the money, just like not talking about like anything else.
Yeah, because like all they care about is money, and so when the money is speaking, because money is speech in the United States of America, according to the Supreme Court, money is speech. So when money speaks, except for half of the panelists there that just were like, well, actually,
What was that little jab at the end? It's like, oh, the average donation is only 27. That means like.
Yeah,
that
the
means-
average donation being
What?
$27 is good. That means like small people are donating. It doesn't mean that. God, they're so cringe. They're so
It means they can
cringe.
donate to other people now.
They're so
like us.
cringe. Stop being cringe, CNN. God. Jeez. And so in regarding to the Bernie thing, someone wrote an article that they interviewed me about. So I just wanted to like play this because it's interesting. I was interviewed by someone, so I'm not going to read the whole article here. You can read it, but a reporter DM'd me on Twitter and was like, "Oh, hey, you're a woman and you support Bernie." I was like, "Yeah, I do." So we have a little bit of stuff here. It came to my knowledge that this person was kind of like a feminist, one of those feminists who's like, I'm gonna only vote for a woman, so I'm gonna try to write a hit piece or whatever. But I mean, the actual piece is okay. Like, it's okay, but it is so obviously biased. But I got some good clips in here.
I agree with you, Cyber.
I got some good clips in here. What did I say? Something about murderous capitalism. God, I hate capitalism. But yeah.
Which one? We have a lot of murderous capitalism ones here.
I mean, the fact... Okay, basically it's just like, oh, why don't you support Elizabeth Warren? She's for the same thing. And it's like, no, she's a fucking capitalist. Imagine being a capitalist in like 2019 and like running for president as a capitalist. Like it. Come on. I don't understand like what these people are doing. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about Bernard and Folks.
I think it's so disingenuous to like not think the system is just like completely broken.
Yeah. Elizabeth Warren comes from like an interesting background that I think forges that. She's not a bottom up entirely kind of person, which Bernard definitely is. I love Bernard. Oh God, I love Bernard. Well,
are you gonna keep calling him Bernard?
Oh, I'm gonna keep calling. I love Bernard. Bernard Sander, my favorite. God. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about Bernard for now. Though, God bless
There'll be
Bernard.
more, I assume.
God bless Bernard. So what do we have next here? Oof, one of my favorites. Did you go over this one?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. So this is an interesting story here. Definitely one that gets the noggin jogging. So Portland police accused of collusion with right-wing extremists after texts surface. So wait a second. Police? Colluding with right-wing extremists? That's not possible, right? Like,
that's very curious.
That's obviously not even remotely a conceivable notion. So you read this article. Would you like to explain what happened here?
I would. So apparently, they were told to speak with as many activists as they could, so that like they could have like a safer like rallies and stuff. I guess they took that as only speak to the right wing, like neo-Nazis. So, I mean, they got out of it, right?
As someone who's gone to a lot of these protests, I've never gone to Portland. That's on the opposite side of the country to me, unfortunately. Lots of action in Portland. I'd like to go there at some point, but I've gone to a few of these things, and like the cops so obviously at fucking N17, like the police were like literally just chatting with the neo-Nazis on the other side of the barrier. Like it was just like, sitting over the fences, like, sharing snacks. No. I saw this point in N17 where like there was like a cop that had like a bag, like one of those snack packs with like the small little miniature bags of chips that you put in your kid's lunchbox. Like literally brought that over to like a group of police officers, and they had a few left over, so they just walked over to the neo-Nazis and just handed them out, and was just like, yeah, so how you guys doing? Like what's up? And it's just like they're so obviously buddy with the right wing, and it's just like it's ridiculous. Which is why I of course will have to say that police are a terrorist organization, an arm of the state and the right wing.
Are these people like a fan of police officers? Like,
yeah.
I can't imagine they dislike them. So, the whole point, they'd like to get
the whole point of like the Proud Boys, for example, is like in the Proud Boys kind of like manifesto, so to speak. Like it's like they say like we just go places and intimidate people and provoke violence, and the police will back us up because they always back us up. They understand that like the people that show up in like these activist kind of circles like that, the very far right motherfuckers, like those guys understand the police are on their side. They've got people in the police. They're all over the place. So. Like, that's what I'm saying, like, when you go to a rally and there's, like, 12 Nazis on one side and, like, 70 police, that's not just 12 Nazis, that's 82 Nazis. Like, straight up. So, this is just more interesting stuff. Lots of stuff goes on in Portland, so if that's something that interests you, I'd recommend following some more Portland people. But definitely lots of interesting materials, for sure.
Yeah, apparently there was an active warrant for, some guy in the Nazis. I don't know like what exact group they were.
Some guy?
Yeah, there's an active warrant, and like they were coordinating back and forth, and like the police literally told them like, I'm just not going to do anything unless like you provoke like me to do something, or like have to do something,
Why would they do that? Why would they do their jobs and go after their buddies when they could, arrest innocent black people for fun? I mean, that's like, the one's a lot better than the other. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they give them the benefit of the doubt when, like, I'm not sure how much benefit they're giving others.
It's a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous.
And like this is just one city too. Like.
Oh yeah, there's a story
how much this is going on.
I don't know if it was Boston, but some city in Massachusetts. Like a cop like tweeted out something where like there was like they caught a computer screen in the photo because like they're just because they're dumb and don't know how to screen cap, I guess. And in that they showed like the bookmark tab, like toolbar, you know, like at the top it just shows like, you know, all the bookmarks, and some of them were like, you know, like Antifa, like you know, accounts and like that kind of stuff. So it's like they were monitoring like, you know, leftist activists and like that kind of stuff, and it's just like interesting. Didn't see any I don't know, Proud Boys accounts in there, but I don't know, people are cringe. The cops are cringe. ACAB?
ACAB.
ACAB? Hello, chat room, by the way. Welcome to the show.
So when you say ACAB, well, what do you mean by that? Do you mean every single one?
Every single police officer, without exception, is a terrorist.
That's a hot take.
That is a cold take, my friend. That is a cold take. Oh, God. Alright, so you want to get into this next one? This one's a doozy.
Sure. Oh God, no, this one is so bad. Oh my God.
This one's a doozy.
This one is so bad.
We are doozing and we are non-doozing at this time. And this one is a doozy. That is definitely something I would say. Though this is like shocking but not surprising, personified, like, or rather exemplified.
This is totally expected, and like it's just thought-provoking because like it's something you don't want to think about, you know.
Is curing patients a sustainable business model?
That title, though.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine saying that. Like, holy fuck.
I don't know. If anything, I think like capitalism and healthcare just don't go hand in hand, like at all. Even if you're like a capitalist, like you cannot refuse the fact that like this is just like not okay, you know. And that like no, it's like really, it's not hard to like. Okay, I'm gonna say like it's not hard, but like like having the system just be like the free market or whatever and have it all privatized, like that is so much
competition's gonna start kicking in
than like just like anything else relating to like healthcare, like at all.
One of my favorite parts about the free market is how it's not a free market and only rich people can play. That's my favorite part about the free market.
Yeah, it's free to lose.
Like, this is what I have to say about capitalism. Like, if you want to live in a capitalist society, you can do so in an MMO. Like, we don't all have to subject ourselves to this pain and suffering because you want to be a little jackass and store your little fucking RuneScape golds. Like, go play a fucking MMO if you want to live in a capitalist fucking world. Like, leave us alone. Like, this shit is just absurd. Fucking hell. Is curing patients a sustainable business model? And it's just like, you know, it just goes into everything. They just want to keep you on stuff. They want to keep you pumping out the drugs, you know, keep you addicted to things. That's why, you know, these are the opioid epidemic. Like, the more addicted y'all are, the better it is for us. We're making money. Hell fucking yeah.
So, like, they'll just ignore, like, things that could be fixed because it's not totally profitable in, like, a sense. Because, like, if healthcare is totally privatized, then there's only incentive to do so much and, like, to not go any further past that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Until, like, a point. So, like, I'm sure some things will become profitable, but only after, like, amount of human suffering has occurred.
100%. 100%. Capitalism is cringe. That's really all I have to say. Except wait, that's not all I have to say. Let's go into this next story. Capitalism is cringe. Part 2. Part 2, 2 in a row, back to back. The lightning round of cringe.
Whoops, I clicked on the wrong one. See.
More than 10,000 suicides tied to economic crisis. You don't say. You don't say. You don't say. A dramatic spike in suicides between 2008 and 2010 can be linked with the economic crisis. Wow, you don't say. Interesting, interesting. When your entire system is built upon, telling people that they need money to live, and if you're not allowing them to get money, they're gonna die. Sometimes they'll kill themselves, sometimes they'll starve, sometimes they'll die of a preventable disease. It's all the same shit, all the same death toll. People that go like, oh, communism kills so many people, and it's like, yeah, but like, this is just one example of everything that's wrong with the fucking global economic structure that we're living in. And it's like, this... Keep on.
There's a hidden Easter egg in here, because like, it says 10,000 suicides are linked to the economic crisis, but like, people have economic crisis, like personal economic crises, like all the time that like aren't counted in the study. So
yeah, like it's really interesting, because like 10,000 is like a number that like obviously it makes sense when you look at it, but then when you actually start looking into it, it's like a lot of this isn't like here. I think primary risk factors increased suicide were job loss, home foreclosures, and debts. Right. So, like, yeah, like that stuff is gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to fuck you up. But like, not like those aren't the only things that could cause someone to kill themselves. Like, maybe imminent, stuff that isn't counted here. Like there's obviously there's other people that just like. Maybe you just don't know that information. Like, there's so many people that like kill themselves, and you just like no one really knows much about why.
Right, like maybe the economic, like maybe their financial situation was like a contributing factor. Like it wasn't like entirely.
Like a straw that broke the camel's back and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So the way I see it, like 10,000 is like a good start, but like that's like a bare minimum. Like, and we also have the increase was 4 times higher in men than in women, which researchers suggested was because men feel greater pressure and shame when faced with financial failure. Interesting. A little bit of a toxic masculinity call-out post there.
Call-out post.
This is from, I believe, 2014, so before toxic masculinity was cool. Got a little call-out post?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors like that go into play here, and 4 times is like massive.
Yeah, it's also.
And I think mostly it's like social stuff too, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And this goes into like just as a small tangent about toxic masculinity. It's like, other like. I'm just gonna bring up the Gillette commercial. It's such a good example. But like all those people that like cringed out at that, it's like, why are you cringing out? Like, we're telling you to stop doing this shit, because when people place these fucking like pressures on them, this is what happens. Like, they're much more likely to crack. So like we shouldn't live in a world where like men are always the default heads of households, and like they always have to provide for the woman. Like, we shouldn't live in a world like that, where like there's just so much pressure on men to do everything. That's a little ridiculous, don't you think?
I think so. And I also think it's ridiculous that like sometimes people will bring up the fact that men commit suicide in like greater numbers to like kind of have a gotcha. Like, but like gotcha. Feminists do care about like this, and like I think it is worth talking about, and a lot of people just aren't listening.
Yeah, all the men are like, how dare you question my masculinity?
Stop.
Like, come on, dude. Fuck. God, I hate men. No, but yeah, like for real, capitalism is garbage. This is a sad study, and there's like, this is just something that's just horrendous, and the fact that this is a thing, and the fact that no one really cares, and then you still have people go like, capitalism is, technological advancements, and your phone is because of capitalism, and it's like, no?
Your phone's because of... That's like the dumbest thing too, because like it makes no sense, and a lot of people say the same stuff about it.
Yeah, like, no. My phone is because of people in a fucking like sweatshop being paid like 13 cents an hour, like constructing that with their lives. But yeah. Anything else about capitalism?
I don't know. I think a lot of men are like encouraged to go into more like physically demanding jobs, and yeah, I think that might be a contributing factor towards like the higher suicide rate.
Yeah, totally. Like just totally. It's unfortunate. I think suicide is suicide is one of the most preventable things, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's just it's a hard topic for sure.
Yeah, I think suicide is just a good indicator that society is not really working out too well for a lot of us. I think when you have like a high suicide rate, it's just, why would people be suiciding, committing suicide, if society and the economy was so booming and wonderful? Like
an interesting case is like Japan, where the suicide rate is like way higher than the homicide rate, and I think suicide rate is like, I don't know how high it is relative compared to other countries, but like it's not looking so good.
Yeah, because like, Japan has that they have that a lot more like toxic masculinity in their culture, and like
they have a lot of like social constructs that are like that aren't really challenged, I would say, and I don't know. I'm not too familiar like on this, but I think a lot of like, I don't know, there's a lot of social pressure that gets put on you in Japan.
Yeah,
and like the work culture too. I've heard the work culture can be like demanding.
Yeah, it's a
and
global
like,
issue.
if you come at that all in like a capitalist like society, that's just like a recipe for disaster.
This shit, like, again, it's a global issue. Like, fucking, if all the most powerful nations in the world are capitalist and the globe is a capitalist economy, and it's unfortunate. But what's also unfortunate, if I can get into the next story, is you got some cringe here.
What's also unfortunate is America, just the USA. That's unfortunate.
Got some cringe. Definitely. Very unfortunate. An 11-year-old Polk County student refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and after explaining his reasons, he was kicked out of class and eventually arrested for being disruptive and disobeying commands to calm down and leave the classroom.
That's a mouthful.
For over the Pledge of the motherfucking Allegiance. I'm not gonna play the video, but as a former libertarian, and a former atheist, I am now an anti-theist, but as a former atheist, like when I was 13 really, I just stopped standing up for the pledge. And every time I'd get new teachers, they would always question me about it, and I'd be like, I just don't believe in patriotism, and I don't believe in worshiping God. So I refuse to do so. And I've gotten into arguments with teachers before. One of my teachers was a former military instructor, and they got very upset that I didn't stand up for the pledge. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't call the police. So I mean, like, this is a little ridiculous. Like, yeah, I know when you're one of these people like that obviously are not a drone. Like, because everyone else standing up for I mean, they're kids, I get it. But, like, the whole point is indoctrination and nationalism and Hitler Youth kind of shit. Like, it's just gross. But, like, when a kid is, like, slightly woke, they just punish them. And it's just, like, this shit is, like, this is wild. Like...
Well, like, the thing is, like, if people start sitting down, like, that's going to become, like, a thing. If, like, I don't know, kids see other kids doing stuff and they're like, I don't have to stand or whatever. I don't have to do this all the time. And, like, that kind of, like, consciousness, like, I don't know who they is, but, like, I don't know, it wouldn't be good if it wasn't, I don't know. I don't know, so tell me, how much is, like, relating to God in the Pledge of Allegiance? Like, how much is to talk about religion?
It just, there's, like, one line about, like, how we're one nation under God.
One nation under God. Well,
it's just creepy. It's creepy. the whole pledge is creepy. Like, when
It's
you're a
creepy.
kid, you just don't really think about it. But, like, looking back, like, it's creepy. Like, every single day, you're supposed to, like, stand up straight, put your hand on your chest, and all look at a flag and pledge your allegiance to a flag?
The flag is like the weirdest part too.
The flag that represents slavery, murder, genocide, like, that flag? That's the flag? Okay, sure. The Pledge of Allegiance, it's a free speech issue. Like, this shit should not be enforced. It shouldn't even be considered. It shouldn't even be allowed, honestly. It's religious indoctrination, built into nationalism. And, maybe I'm a little out of the loop, but, was Ben Shapiro talking about this?
I don't know where the free speechers are at here. I don't see them being upset about this.
Let me just search Ben Shapiro's Twitter. I'm just curious, because, you know, the free speech advocate. Just 11. Let's just search 11. Pledge? Anything? Huh. So, it appears that the free speech warrior, Ben Shapiro, is not saying anything about this. Interesting. What else? Flag? What is the free speech warrior? No? Nothing from the free speech warrior. What about... What's Dave Rubin's account? He's a free speech warrior. Dave Rubin. What is his account?
Thank you for doing this, like, online sleuthing. I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
like, it's just like, these guys love free speech, right? It's just Rubin report, okay? These guys love free speech, so, I mean, it's just like, it's interesting. So, Pledge? Where's the free speech at? Oh, Patreon, interesting, okay. 11. Just... No? Oh, free speech. Obviously, they're going to be talking about this. Oh, so I don't know where the free speechers are at, but I don't know. It's a little strange. I'm not quite sure where the free speechers are at, but help.
I mean, I guess it's not like unexpected because like, I don't know. Aren't they quite nationalistic and like, I don't know, wouldn't they support like this kind of thing?
Oh yeah, you're taking my skit a little too seriously. These people are fucking stupid. Oh yo. I know. Let's see what Tim Pool has to say, right? Tim Cast. He's a free speecher, right? Yeah. All right. Let me.
He's casting some free speech right now.
Yeah, the free speech advocate Tim Pool from Tim Pool. Pledge. Obviously, Tim Pool's gonna be talking about it.
Well, yeah.
No pledge. Maybe 11? No. Or wait, no, is this thing Tim Cast? Never mind, I might be stupid. It's Tim Cast. Yeah, okay, Tim Cast. I'm bad. Still no pledge. No 11. Wait, nope, nothing. Let's see. Flag? Anything? No. Huh? Let's free speech. Oh, okay. God, this guy, what a fucking dumbass. Like, honestly,
What did you uncover?
that's just, you know, right-wing talking points. Like, these people are just fucking stupid. Where are the free speech warriors? Hello? Where are we at? Where are we at? You'd think, you know, free speech, but nah.
I think it's interesting how the teacher just apparently didn't know that like you could just not.
Yeah, the teacher.
Like, how old are they?
It was like, I think
at
the
least
quote,
20
it
something.
was like, the teacher had not heard of the First Amendment or whatever, like. You know? Is that in this article? There's a few articles about that. No, it wasn't in this article. I don't feel like looking for the
The
edit.
subsidy teacher will no longer be able to work at any of the district schools. That's unfortunate.
I'll just move to another district. That's how they do it. Anyway. Oof, I like this next one. Alright, so.
How do you feel about this next one?
I feel good. I feel really good.
Okay.
So, 2020 Libertarian presidential candidate John McAfee is at it again. They were thrown out of the last bar, and they're in the waters, international waters, hopefully, and they're searching. So John McAfee's got an update for us, and this has got some crucial information that needs to be heard. So,
yeah, I looked up where Georgetown was, and I think it's in the Bahamas somewhere.
Yeah.
So, there you go. There's a lot of Georgetowns, unsurprisingly.
Hi guys.
That was a bit of a sleuth.
I'm just playing the video and just listen to this audio quality.
We're not surrounded by water, and it scares them. This is Patrick's first boat ride, and he's having fun. We're gonna take off. Right, guys. We're fine. We're releasing you. That's why I'm taking off. Son, ready?
It's my
How?
What is literally, you can't hear this. Let me just skip ahead. None of this is audible in any capacity. Oh my fuck.
So as you can see.
Jesus. Fucking John McAfee's so funny. Oh my god. Imagine recording that video and uploading it. Yep. Yep.
I heard I'm way too conservative for that, I think.
For what? This?
I heard something.
Oh, is that a quote? Let me just look at John McAfee's Twitter. Anything else,
Why does he do that thing at the end where he just puts his face directly in the camera?
It's him trying to click the button to turn it off on the phone.
Yeah?
So it's the camera's here. It's
$500,000.
Stop!
all the boomers do that. Anyone that's a boomer that does a live video like that, they'll always have that shit in there. My favorite. It's
You seem like you have a lot of experience with this.
I mean, I've done many live broadcasts. My live broadcast is try not to look at it. I don't want to look weird, so that's my live broadcast ending thing. But God, this is his latest video is another one where the wind is just so. The wind is just so loud you can't hear anything. God. Oh God, I love John McAfee. What a fucking cringer. What an absolute cringer. Holy shit. Anything else about John McAfee you got?
This whole page is a lot, there's a lot to take in just by every single tweet.
A lot of cringe, yeah?
He has his buddy flexing in a picture here.
God, I know.
What does he mean he's doing a test in Germany? For his presidency or something? What is he talking about?
I don't fucking know.
He's planning a strategy, he says. Boy, do we have one.
I love John McAfee.
If you were John McAfee and you wanted to be president, how would you plan and strategize this?
First, I would not pay taxes for 7 years. Then I would put all my money into Bitcoin, and then I would go on a boat ride into international waters and make incomprehensible Twitter videos.
And commence the clone army.
Yo, honestly, I'm unironically tempted to try to become one of the clones. I think it's something do I if I just show up, will someone 3D print a mask for me or something? Can I get the free supplies? Or do I have to fund it myself because anarcho-capitalists meme lords? I don't know, but God, I love John McAfee. And you wanna know who I don't love though? As far as presidential candidates go?
A lot. You don't like a lot of people.
Kamala Harris.
That's very surprising. I am shocked that you would have said that.
Kamala Harris. We got this. We got an interesting materials here. So I'm just gonna play the video real quick and play.
Senator Harris, one of the most popular Democrats in America right now is the guy who won here in 2016, Bernie Sanders.
That's fucking cringe.
Describes himself as a Democratic socialist. To compete in New Hampshire, do you have to, in the Democratic primary, do you have to move more toward the Democratic socialist part of the party?
Well, the people of New Hampshire will tell me what's required to compete in New Hampshire, but I will tell you I am not a Democratic socialist. I believe that what voters do want is they want to know that whoever is going to lead understands that in America today, not everyone has an equal opportunity to and access to a path of success.
You doing good?
That has been building up over decades, and we've got to correct course. When we have an America where almost half of American families cannot afford
I can't listen to this anymore. Like, it's just like, what is this thing that Democrats do where they say, oh, the people need access, and there's not amount of economic mobility, and it's like,
right? They talk a lot about the problems, but like no solutions.
Problems, but like I'm not a Democratic socialist, but I'm just saying that economic mobility is not as good as it used to be, and like we need a candidate that knows that problem. And I think I know that there's a lot of economic problems, and there's a lot of racial injustice, like people of color being sent to prison over weed disproportionately, and we should definitely fix that problem. And I participated in that and was a violent very, very, very aggressive prosecutor, but I'm definitely going to work for fixing that problem because I'm a logical thinker. And it's like, okay, but how? How? Like, my God.
Not even just like how, but what are you going to fix? What are you doing? What are you doing?
God, Kamala Harris is such a stupid fuck. Such a stupid fuck. Like, I swear, I hope Kamala Harris has like an event near DC so that I can go and I can just scream, "You're a stupid fuck," and see what happens. Because like, what a stupid fuck. Like, God, what a stupid fuck. Honestly. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Kamala Harris.
Speaking of stupid fucks.
Right, this is a really good one. Speaking of stupid motherfuckers. Speaking of the dumbest motherfuckers on planet Earth. Okay. So, we have an interesting tweet here from Paul Joseph Watson, complaining AOC wants to raise taxes on the wealthy. Whoa. Raise taxes on the wealthy? Unpossible. Literally impossible.
Unpossible.
Literally.
Impossible.
Like, it is unreal. AOC, one of the most popular top Democrats in social like zeitgeist and media, like one of the most famous politicians in modern history, wants to tax the wealthy? Crazy, right? And like she has like 70% support from the American people. That's nuts. And then what happens a few days later? This is the 15th. Now wait for it. What's on the 17th? Amazon will pay $0 on $11 billion in profit. But this owner always virtue signals the correct identity politics, so who cares, right, liberals?
God, I hate liberals. Right? Am I right?
Hello? Hello? But that's not it. That's not it. Another perfect cringe lord. One of my favorite cringers on planet Earth.
Charlie Kirk.
My man Charles. Okay, now look at the time here. Okay. This is like... Okay, so Prison Planet, 2 days. That's bad, right? 2 days and you change your opinion 180 degrees. That's definitely interesting. Now, is Charlie Kirk going to do the same thing? Wait for it. Boom. 1 day. 1 day, completely flip the script. 1 fucking day. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? Can someone tell me? Like, does anyone have the answer? Brooke, do you have the answer?
Do I have the answer?
What is wrong with these people?
There are answers here, but I'm not sure if I have them. I would like to point out that old Charles here definitely beat out Paul on the tweet here. Got it out early, 8 a.m. compared to 3 p.m. He's an early riser. He's on the news. He got it.
Look at this dumb fuck. God, look at this dumb fuck. God, Charlie Kirk, like, just looking at him makes me want to die. Like, seeing this physical form and knowing, like, everything that this guy has done in his life, literally, like, instant suicidal feelings. Like, my God, what a fucking motherfucker. Ugh.
He's a proud capitalist, and he is very upset with crony capitalism. Very, very upset at the people ruining his free market and capitalist ideals. Amazon should be paying their fair share, which is more than $0.
My God. Charles, motherfucking Charles. Oh my God, Charles. Charles. Speaking of motherfucks, and speaking of hating liberals.
Oh no, this is so bad.
Speaking of motherfucks and speaking of hating liberals, we got a Bill Maher clip here.
Are you sure it's Maher or not Maher or Maher?
It's Maher. I know Bill Maher, bro. Come on. Alright, so let's just start from the beginning. Are you ready?
Yeah, I mean, we can go.
Alright, play.
And finally, new rule, no more swiping left on perfectly good presidential candidates. Nearly 45 million Americans now identify themselves as Democrats, and all of them are running for president. This time, let's give them a chance. Let's not eat our own, the way we nitpicked Hillary to death over her emails and other bullshit.
Alright, pause. I hate Bill Maher. So, as a former libertarian, when I was 14 years old, I loved Bill Maher. One of my favorite fuckers. I thought he was hilarious and funny. But it's like, goddamn, what a motherfucking moron. What a fucking moron. So, like, legitimate things that are a problem with Hillary Clinton shouldn't be discussed? What? Eat our own? Hillary Clinton is not my own. She is a fucking rich oligarch. She is not in my own. So, fuck you, Bill Maher. And we're not even close to done. Alright, play.
So you're saying this is personal between you and Maher?
Yeah, we got some beef.
Kamala Harris has already had to play defense because it's come out that when she was a prosecutor, she prosecuted people.
Pause. Alright, so. Oh my God. This, like, I'm just doing my job. I'm here just doing my job. Hey guys, you know, just doing my job. That's just literally the same arguments that fucking, like, the Nazis had. Oh, I was just doing my job, dude. I was just doing my job. Like, hello? She could have prosecuted Steve Mnuchin and she chose not to. Was that doing her job?
Well,
A rich loser who fucking fucked over the economy was right in her lap, and she chose to do nothing. It was right on her lap. The case was ready. She was like, I'm gonna go prosecute some black people, dude.
She was getting paid for it, so she was doing her job.
I'm gonna go prosecute some non-violent drug offenders. I'm gonna go after some poor low-income parents. Steve Mnuchin. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Like, what a stupid fucking bitch. All right, play.
Not very progressive. She should have found a way to apply more forgiveness, and the fact that she didn't is unforgivable. Elizabeth Warren.
Anyone think the left is so hypocritical?
So what? Trump claimed to be human.
All right, pause. Okay.
Also, like, this one makes no sense because, like, no one is criticizing, like, except for, like, the right and, like, Trumpers.
Yeah. So my problem with this clip is he is pretending to go after the left-wing base of the Democratic Party here, but in turn, he's, like, mixing up the attacks and, like, I know a lot of left-wingers, and do a lot of left-wingers think that what Elizabeth Warren did was cringe? Yeah. Do we think she's a cringer? Yeah. are we going to hate her and throw her aside because of that? No, because she has good policy. She's not Hillary Clinton. She has good policy. I'll allow her to have this gaffe. She has good policy. She owned up to it. It doesn't matter. So this Bill Maher shit is just, who is, like, literally, who is the target here? And who are the people that weaponize identity politics again? Oh right, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Chelsea, wait, Clinton, I forgot. Those are the people that use identity politics. But no, the left, when the left does identity politics, it's bad. God, what a fucking play.
If you think this stupid, blown out of proportion Indian controversy makes her inauthentic, you're the phony. She is the champion of consumer rights in the age of income inequality.
Yeah,
when
I
it comes
agree.
to Elizabeth Warren, I have no reservations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Put the camera back.
Okay. Bernie Sanders, we used to like him, but he didn't personally chaperone everyone on his campaign, so he's a sex monster once removed.
All right,
I
pause.
have no idea what he's even talking about here.
So, like, in Bernie's 2016 campaign, there were some people that, like, were a little creepy in the sexual department. And as soon as Bernie found out, he fired them immediately and fixed everything to the, the best of his capability. The problem was that he didn't necessarily vet everyone properly, which is definitely his bad, and he definitely apologized for it. But, like, no one cares about this, except, again, the people that weaponize identity politics. Like, he's switching the attacks, and it's just, it's a little ridiculous. I don't know, this guy's a little ridiculous. Like, his whole shtick is like, corporations are great, I'm a millionaire, and I love it. And I also like weed. Like, that's Bill Maher's entire personality. So, like, the condescension is just, God, I fucking hate it. Alright,
I hate the fucking smugness. I hate smug.
But not too tough. That's Amy Klobuchar. Oh, yeah. Yeah, last week we learned she's verbally abusive. Then again, this came from the Huffington Post, so I gotta ask.
And she threw a binder.
Do you mean actually abusive or what millennials think of as abusive?
Oh, no.
Let's just get this all over with, and then I'll talk.
I think it's like the pain chart in the hospital. And I think my generation's 2 is your generation's 10. So...
Alright, pause. Okay, this millionaire, rich ass, I'm gonna do a show like once a week and then have the rest of my life and the rest of my kids' lives and their kids' lives and their kids' lives paid for forever. This guy is going to, like, get upset that, like, maybe people with crippling fucking student loans don't like the fucking economy we're in? Like, what is this, like, meme about, millennials are snowflakes! Oh, they're snowflakes! Ah! Like, the same generation that gets offended at, like, fucking violent video games is gonna be like, oh, kids these days are so easily offended. Like, the same generation that, like, fucking had a bunch of, like, censored movies and films and books, right, because they're too violent. Kids these days, they're so easily offended. You know who's easily offended? Fucking religious fucking morons. And, like, Bill Maher would probably agree with this, but, like, his fucking whole show nowadays is just attacking millennials and attacking left-wingers, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? What the fuck are you doing? Like, this shit's ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, God, it's ridiculous.
Attacking millennials is, like, easy mode, because, like, the word is just funny. Millennial. Like, you can just own them right there. Just speaking as a not millennial, just saying. I hate millennials, too.
I think I'm technically a millennial, right? Didn't we have this conversation?
Yeah, I hate you.
Yeah, I'm like the very last little bit of millennialness. And I'm proud. I will take my heritage and bring it to fruition. But yeah, I'm not gonna. There's nothing else we need to play with this one. It's just Bill Maher's a fucking Democratic establishment, fucking millionaire hack, fucking loser, no credibility, fake libertarian, fucking stupid prick, fuckface, dumb ass, motherfucking bitch, pansy fucker. Anyway.
So how do you be a fake libertarian?
A fake libertarian. I mean, be a libertarian. Like, there is no such thing as libertarianism. It's fake on its head. So, if you're a libertarian, you're automatically a fake libertarian.
What does that mean? Help me out here.
Because, like, libertarians are like, we live in a meritocracy, dude. Just work hard.
Yeah, I guess, like, the premise itself, it's built on, like, not true.
Yeah, so, like, you being a fake libertarian and a libertarian are just the same things. Meritocracy, man. Just, like, work hard like I do, dude. Just, like, sit on, like, a show for, like, 4 hours a week and, like, that's your job, dude. Hard at work in the entertainment industry, man. Hell yeah.
Stop. I think a lot of people would love to forge a meritocracy where, like, where everyone had the equal opportunity to do what they want and, like, just, like, things are just more fair. But, like, the libertarian view is, like, today, right now, is fair and, like,
it's fair enough. And it's fair enough. And to make it fairer, we gotta go backwards. And it's like, yeah, deregulate all fucking industries and see what happens. Oh, wait. Trump did that, and climate change is being accelerated. People are dying more often. And oof. Well, I mean, that's what the libertarians wanted, so what are you gonna do?
Have these people, like, looked into history, like, at all?
No. So, let's go to this next story. You probably can give me a lot of scoops on this, because I didn't really follow this whole thing too well at all, so I'll let you take...
Okay, I also didn't follow it very well, but I know what happened.
Okay, well, you're a little bit ahead of me.
I have the extra scoop on you could say?
Yes, this is your segment.
This is my segment.
This is your segment.
Oh, no.
Yep, this is your segment.
So, Mermaids is, what is it? It's a support group for transgender and gender variant children in the UK. And there was a national lottery that was going towards this group. And somebody made a big hissy fit about it. And there's a lot of posts on a forum called Mumsnet.
Somebody?
Somebody. Would you like to inform?
No. Just somebody.
Okay.
Just somebody.
So, the National Lottery got put under review, so it was unconfirmed whether they would achieve this money or, like, if they would just get screwed out of it. So, what happened was, a popular leftist YouTuber, did a live stream where they, like, played through Donkey Kong, and people donated, and it went a lot better than expected in terms of, like, donations, and, like,
I read one story about this, and there was a story where someone published a story about how AOC raised, like, X amount for trans kids in the UK, and it was like, because she, like, appeared on the stream for, like, 2 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, AOC was on the stream for a little bit.
Yeah, but, like, fucking mainstream media just kind of, like, ripping out all the grassroots effort for that. But as a streamer, I didn't...
Wait, go ahead.
No, as a streamer, I stream, so I didn't have time to, like, really watch any of this, unfortunately. But it seemed pretty cool from the clips I've seen.
Mm-hmm. I hated the criticism of AOC being, like, childish by going on a video game live stream, but with forgetting the fact that, like, the stream raised, like, $350,000. Like, how childish is that? How childish is that?
She's a child. She's playing video games, dude.
So, yeah, I mean, they got the fund just now. Well, it was confirmed just recently that they would get the lottery fund. And they also got the charity money as well that was raised through the stream.
That's awesome. I love trans people.
It's planned out to be like a regular thing, so like they're planning on doing like another Donkey Kong playthrough like in a year or so. Or whatever.
See, my problem with this is I hate Nintendo. I hate Donkey Kong. So like I am a PlayStation Nation member. Like I'm going to make an anarchist state called the PlayStation Nation. And actually it exists right here in my room. So this is the PlayStation Nation. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the PlayStation Nation. And
This is the
PlayStation Nation. No, but like I don't know. I like
GameCube there in the corner, just a little Easter egg.
This is the place. Oh shit! It fell on the floor. Rip my GameCube. Well, I'll fix it later. All right. Remind me. Anyway, yeah. I don't really have anything else to say. It's good stuff. I like gamers when they're good. It's just gamers aren't usually good.
Right. Another like a good aspect towards this is like the guy who made like all like they continued like to like harass trans people on Twitter and like this mermaid group, and it essentially like they kind of directly contributed to like all of the good that happened.
Yeah,
like, people wanted to like they were a good enemy for like people to rally behind, and like it really like caused like I don't know, just like good stuff to happen.
Speaking of good stuff,
12 o'clock on the dot. Wow. Look at you. How do you plan on talking with like a pill under your mouth?
I'm just good at it.
You're just good at it.
Yeah, I'm just good at it.
I'm very bad at it.
Yeah, well, you're very bad at a lot of things. So this is another story.
Oh no. Oh no.
Very interesting materials.
What's your take on this? I looked into this one and this is not good.
You looked into it, so you explain it to me. What happened here?
So, some cringe turf wrote an article and it got posted on the Yahoo website.
Wait, on the what website?
The Yahoo.
Yahoo! Is that really how they say it in Canada? Yahoo?
Stop!
No. Yahoo.com. Is that like Yahoo?
I mean, there's an A, so I mean, you just say
yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah. It doesn't matter. It's just a thing.
Yeah? Yahoo?
Yeah.
So would you
Yeah.
pronounce Y-A? Yeah? Or would you say
Yeah.
ya?
Yeah.
Yeah, not yeah. No E, just yeah. Yeah?
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
It's just like this whole article is just like turfy nonsense. It's just really bad. They're like the language it uses is like it's like coded language, and it's just gross.
Yeah, it's defending Megan Murphy,
really
right?
Yeah, the premise is essentially Twitter claims to offer a platform to every side in a political debate, and they are claiming that Twitter is not being like completely objective with their takedowns.
Okay, so are you ready for my take? Do you have anything else?
I'm ready for your take.
Human rights are not debatable. You can debate economic policy, foreign policy, borders, geopolitical strengths. You can't debate human rights. So I think Twitter should ban people if they say that trans women aren't women, because it's scientifically incorrect, and it's deep rooted in bigotry and hatred and the desire to see innocent people suffer. So that's that. And unfortunately, though, this is just fucking garbage, because as a trans person, I've been banned from Twitter like 7 times from arguing with transphobes about whether or not I have a right to life. And last time I checked, I think we reported an account that had like 30 tweets in it that were disgusting transphobia, like literal, like actual disgusting, like hatred and like saying like slurs in every single tweet and stuff. And that account actually did not have like any sort of issues whatsoever. So Twitter does not have a transgender, it does have a transgender problem, but it's that they don't care about trans people and they silence us while banning us. A lot of trans people I know have gone through like 7 Twitter accounts because they just get mass reported by TERFs over and over and over again. So when Twitter did this new policy where they said they're going to start banning people for misgendering, that's not true. I have reported people for misgendering literally hundreds of times, and like none of them have ever gotten banned. It's not true. This is literal fake news.
The thing is, like, I think what is going on is like it's written in the rules, right? But the actual banning process has probably not changed at all. It's likely automated to some extent, and there are factors that contribute to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the fact that these people said some like awful shit that got the ban, and they're trying to like say it's just politics. But the thing is, like human lives, like being politicized doesn't make it political. Like just because some people have like politicized it and like have you started using like coded language and like
yeah, no, I mean I would like
that's like really awful.
By the same token, you should be banned from Twitter if you think that like black people have a lower IQ or something like that shit. Like it's equally as offensive, equally as stupid, and equally as scientifically illiterate. And like it's just like this shit that people do and think that it's okay. Oh, it's just politics, dude. You know, there's like millions of people that are like suffering because of like the things that I'm saying and like the social zeitgeist that I'm supporting and endorsing, but like it's just politics. You know?
Right. So I wanted to get your onion on this. How would you feel if Twitter didn't ban anybody?
My problem with Twitter is it is a Silicon Valley corporation and thus inherently right-wing and doesn't give a fuck about left-wingers. But they virtue signal.
Right, exactly.
So that's the problem. Like, so all the right-wingers, because of the virtue signaling, because right-wingers are emotional creatures obsessed with identity politics, they see the virtue signaling and that offends them, and then they get triggered. But like, they don't actually... they don't know any lefties, so they don't know that, like, literally hundreds upon hundreds of lefties are getting banned every fucking day, like, multiple times for, like, mass reports and all that shit. So, like, the thing is, I would rather they not ban anybody, because then at least fake news like this wouldn't exist that perpetuates harmful stereotypes. Like, my ideal situation, obviously, would be someone who's obviously a good human being in charge, but that's not the case. So, I don't think that these Silicon Valley corporations should ban people outside of things that are illegal. And that's another issue, is that I think it was a Saudi Arabian prince or whatever has, I think, the most amount of Twitter stock. So there was like another story where Twitter started banning people for speaking out against Saudi Arabia, like journalists for speaking out against Saudi Arabia. So it's like left-wing censorship is 99% of censorship, right? Your fucking college campus like free speech garbage that like Ben Shapiro loves to talk about, like that's literally like 0.2% of anything. So like it's awful. Twitter is awful, and Google is pretty awful. Facebook is awful. Mark Zuckerberg is awful. Jack Dorsey is awful. I don't fucking know who runs Google, but they're probably
you're saying
awful.
There is a censorship problem on Twitter because, like, the fact that it's just, like, it's just, like, anarchy where, like, shit's just going on, but, like, there's, like, no real principles.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's just all virtue signaling. It's like, yeah, we're going to say we're doing this, and then people are going to think we're doing it because we're saying it, but then we're going to silence everyone who are fucking anyway, and they don't have a platform. So like, again, like all the trans people that I know that like constantly get mass reported and banned over and over, they like, maybe at most would have like 1,000 followers. So like none of us are like super popular. So like we all know that this is a thing. We all know this happens all the fucking time. But no one in the mainstream media knows because no one fucking gives a fuck about trans people. No one ever interviews trans people. No one ever has trans writers. No one ever has trans staff. So they never, ever, ever get the trans perspective on any of this garbage. Like, why the fuck would you, like, interview a fucking TERF when it comes to trans shit? Like, without having any sort of, like, opposition, it's ridiculous. I hate TERFs.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know TERFs even exist, and like they kind of appropriate the feminist label like as itself. People that are like, I hate feminists, they're like that's like the weirdest thing to say, because like it's not like one big, I don't know, group. It's not a group. Like there's no
feminazis.
These people like claim the label of feminist, and they're like just as shitty as you are. So like, I mean,
speaking of shitty things, that's my segue into this next one. Did you watch this video yet?
I did. Sure.
It's so good. Our good friend Michael Pence
I like how you're doing this. You're doing this little skit here. It's good.
Our good friend Michael Pence, the Vice President of the United States of America, was just watch. Play. Oh shit, it's muted. Help. It's muted. Oh, my tab is muted. Oops, I'm a silly person.
America's military might.
Alright, we're gonna restart. And play.
Wow, look at this production quality.
He has worked with these members of Congress to strengthen America's military might and to strengthen the leadership of the free world. I bring greetings from the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump.
It's so good.
Literally just fuck my face. That is so funny. Oh my god, that is so good. That is so good. I never retweeted this. Let me retweet that.
So this is in Munich, right? Is this in Germany? This is in Europe somewhere, essentially. No one's cheering. So
yeah. I bring greetings from Donald Trump. Anyway, no, it's like it's so good. Like, I just love how, like, when these people that are like self-absorbed nationalists, like, when they get like reality just slapped into their fucking face, you know, it's like, oh wait, people actually hate me. People actually hate Donald Trump. I forgot. Anyway, what was I saying?
Speaking of hug boxes.
But I just want to get a freeze frame of that moment where, like, he looks up. Oh god, it's so good.
Last August.
God, it's so good.
Trump.
His face, like, you can just see.
He doesn't even look up. He doesn't look up at all.
You can see that he's like sweating profusely, and it's just God, so fucking funny.
That's good. That's really good.
Okay. So, I got an interesting story about the UK.
Do you have an extra scoop here that I have not picked up on?
Is it the billionaire one?
Yeah, I've read this one, but what do you got here?
Well, this is a scoop. Yeah. So a guy that was a huge supporter of Brexit, so that he would pay less taxes, is now going to leave the UK so that he can pay less taxes. And that's just really funny. That's so good. Like, he's such a fucker.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I say, like, the rich, like, essentially hold the population at gunpoint. So, like, because, like, they just, like, leave. They're just like, yeah, fuck you.
This is why we need a global economic revolution. Places like tax havens should not exist. If you fly to the Cayman Islands, there's going to be a mob of Antifas waiting there to fuck you up, bitch. No, like, for real, that's what we need, because this shit is ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Right, like, the thing is, like, people will try to, like, implement progressive policies, and, like, then they'll just, like, subvert it, and they're like, haha, see, it doesn't work. And then, you know, that's just, like, not helpful, and, like, that's just bad. Like, there needs to be solutions that, like, tackle this problem on head-on, instead of, like, people, I don't know, just, like, just getting owned over and over. Because, like, everyone's in a shitty position compared to, like, the capitalists.
Agreed.
Because it's like, they're not with the people, obviously. Like, they don't even want to, like, pay taxes. Like, they don't give a shit about the country. They don't give a shit about the people.
Speaking of people that don't give a shit about the people, I don't have anything else to say about this stupid moron. I'm not a UK person, so I don't know any specifics. So, let's talk about Tim Pool again.
All right, sure.
Because I love talking about Tim Pool. Tim Pool is my new favorite lolcow.
Is this your new word? Are you gonna use this more?
Yeah, no. Tim Pool is a definite lolcow. Just read this tweet.
It's bad.
I'll give you a second. Just read it.
Want me to read it out loud?
No, just let the audience
read it.
absorb the information on their screen. Flat Earth, fake moon landings, biologically female penises, climate change denial. What do all of these things have in common?
What is that?
I don't know. Ask Tim Pool. Oh my fuck. Literally, imagine writing this. So, I had this discussion a little bit yesterday, so I'm going to kind of recycle this just so that people know. When you take hormones, your body changes. Basically, there's inhibitors, whatever, that function in your cells differently than if they're exposed to estrogen or testosterone. So when trans women who are on HRT for a while, their body changes, their penises change, and they're not male penises. So Tim Pool likes to say that like sex and gender are different, and that like all trans science doesn't exist apparently, and that like if you're a trans woman you're male bodied because you have a penis or whatever. And it's like, that shit is just so ridiculously inaccurate and incorrect. Like, female and male penises look entirely different for the most part. They function entirely differently. Mine doesn't even fucking work. Like, so it's like, what? Like, there's an obvious difference between a female penis and a male penis. If you know anything about trans science, if you've ever met a trans woman, you should know that. So like it's just like when people just say, "Oh, dick's a dick." When you got a dick, it's a dick, and you put the dick in like you get dick. Like, that's not how it fucking works, you stupid fuck.
Genitals do not like define you as a person. If you lose your dick, you aren't suddenly like not a human, right? Like
these people are so fucking dumb. They're so stupid. Dumb as a sack of fucking dog shit on the sidewalk. God, I hate Tim Pool.
I hate Tim Pool.
I do. Like, he's like a literal scumbag. He's a piece of dog shit. And
like, tell me that's not true. Like, cis people are like threatened by trans women. Like, this is a fact.
They better be threatened.
No, they're afraid.
You better be threatened.
Threatened. Show me your newfound strength.
Better be threatened. But yeah, Tim Pool's a fuckface. Speaking of fuckfaces, always so good on these segues. We have some interesting materials coming out of South Dakota, and you looked into this one, Brooke?
Not too much. Just like looking into it a little bit.
Do you have any article besides this tweet at all?
No, I don't.
Alright, well, I believe you actually looked at the actual legislation, got some information.
I tried to, and it's very short, and I was skeptical if that was even accurate.
Yeah, so apparently the legislation is just you're not allowed to teach certain gender dysphoria instruction in public schools. And I think it's from kindergarten to 7th grade?
Yes.
So the thing is here is the weasel word is certain. That's how they're going to argue that, like, oh, you know, like, we just want to, like, you know, wean people into it. We're not banning trans science. We're not banning, you know, history. It's just, you know, we just want to limit the exposure, make sure it's, you know, kind of fits in. Like, that's their argument. But what that means is, essentially, if a right-wing school wants to, they'll just ban trans shit. They'll just remove the word certain and just say, well, yeah, certain is just everything.
Like, what does this mean? If, like, couldn't you use that argument of certain, certain gender dysphoria instruction? So could that be, like, anything relating to gender, like, whatsoever? Because, like, you can just be, like, told you're talking about dysphoria. So, like, if you're talking anything beyond like male or female, like you would just be like being prohibited to do that, you know, because that could be like described as certain gender dysphoria instructions. So like I don't know, like anything at all relating to gender, like within those periods, would just be like not talked about at all in school.
And it's when cis people enact legislation and use like this kind of terminology, you know, it's just like it proves that they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and it's just frustrating because these people are making laws.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know, like to actually disallow it, like, is just barbaric. Like, I don't know, like, is there an epidemic of like gender dysphoria studies in kindergarten to grade 7? Is this like a thing? Am I missing out on?
No.
Like, if anything, it's just like the only time this is ever going to be like in place is during like, I guess, like sex ed or like any kind of like science, which is like, I don't know, like 2 classes. It's like a very minimal amount of exposure if it was like a thing at all.
Yeah,
already.
It's not like people like to think, oh, SJWs are forcing all our kids to cross-dress, and it's like, no.
To talk about like gender and gender dysphoria is like, it's like literal facts, you know, like, and I don't know, that's just crazy that it's like banned or like being like thought to be banned.
It's a little ridiculous. I will say that much. It's a little ridiculous. God, I fucking America sucks. South Dakota's closer to Canada. Can you just take that?
South Dakota? Wait a second, let's look at the map here.
Yeah, both Dakotas. Get both of them. Seize them.
Both of them?
Yeah, no. Get them.
Where is South Dakota? Let's see here. Oh dear. Yeah, that's not a good area to be. I don't know, those northern states are really interesting, aren't they?
Yeah. We have a chat message that I want to respond to. Human rights are not debatable, period. However, transgender science is relatively new, so it should be open to debate. The thing is, the debate that right-wingers are having is not a debate. They're debating over whether or not trans people should be allowed to even have any resources or exist. What debates
like,
should be allowed are like the treatment.
Conversation doesn't go anywhere because it's stuck on, are trans people real? And like that should not be talked about because
the debate should be about like treatments, you know, dosage, like medical stuff, like that's what the debate should be about. The debate should not be whether or not trans people exist, which 99.9% of debates when it comes to trans people are if they even exist.
You know? Or like finding like weasel ways to get into that kind of space of invalidating trans people. And it's just like
this man's cross-dressing. Oh, they're male-bodied. Speaking of people that go, let's talk about Tucker Carlson.
Oh god, this.
How
much do you want to go into this?
I want to watch the whole thing, starting from I think 30 seconds. Cause like the beginning is like a little pre-show. Yeah, so start at 30 seconds. I want to watch 30 seconds. So I want to watch this whole thing because this is very important, and if you haven't seen it, then this is a good time.
Do you have any like pre-info on who Tucker Carlson is?
He's a Fox News host.
So
he's a white supremacist. He's one of the more direct neo-Nazi dog whistlers in mainstream media. So, this guy's epic, and he calls them out. So I don't want to play the whole video because it's worth watching. So play.
In my opinion. I mean, it feels like I'm at a firefighters conference, and no one's allowed to speak about water. That's one of the great moments, maybe the great moment in Davos history. Rutger Bregman is the author of Utopia for Realists, and he joins us now. Mr. Bregman, I can't stop laughing just listening to that. And part of it makes me wonder, are you the first person ever to note that people are flying private to talk about global warming and that none of them mention tax avoidance? Has anyone ever said that before at Davos that you know of?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on Davos history, but it is a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And others have noted that. We've noted it on this show. We've just never gone to Davos and said.
Removing the webcam so you can see the subtitles.
What response did you get?
I mean, they were not very happy with me, but I'm just I think a random Dutch historian who's basically saying what everyone around the globe is thinking. You know, the vast majority of Americans, for years and years now, according to the polls, including Fox News viewers and including Republicans, are in favor of higher taxes on the rich. You know, higher inheritance taxes, higher top marginal tax rates, higher wealth taxes. It's all really mainstream. But no one's saying that at Davos, just as no one's saying it on Fox News, right? And I think the explanation for that is quite simple, is that most of the people in Davos, but also here on this channel, have been bought by the billionaire class. You know, you're not meant to say these things. So I just went there and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to say it, just as I'm saying it right here on this channel.
Well, what was interesting, I thought, about what you said was you noticed.
All right, pause.
I mean, many.
I just want to interject real quick and say, slay. I love
How is he
this
gonna
guy.
respond to this?
I
That's a
love
real
this
question.
guy. He's so good. Like, he, like, is direct to the point, like, and weasels it in there so, like, he doesn't get fucked over first, you know? And it's so good.
Right, because he
God.
knows like what he's gonna say, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, he knows what's up. He knows the game here. And Tucker falls right into it. So I love it. Alright, so play.
People have called for higher taxes.
Well, not on this channel, is it? I mean, almost all of the pundits on this channel for years have been against higher taxes, right? Even though the vast majority of Americans is in favor of it.
I mean, I don't know. It would be interesting to know how many hours of Fox you've watched, but I'm interested in what you said about tax avoidance. So
Yeah.
just because someone faces a specific tax rate does not mean that person pays that tax rate at all. I don't think Netflix, for example, paid any taxes last year at all. So what would you do specifically to make certain that this class of people pays what they're supposed to pay?
Well, it's about multiple things. So we should really crack down on tax paradises and on tax avoidance. That's a major issue. But it's also about having higher taxes. So in the 1950s, for example, in the 1960s, in the golden age of capitalism, as historians called it, we had top marginal tax rate for the very rich of about, 70, 80, 90%. Actually under Eisenhower, the Republican president. And this was also, one of the best periods in American history. The same is true for the UK and the rest of Europe. So as a historian, for me, it's all not, it's really not rocket science. We should just go back to simple and straightforward solutions from the past.
Right, but this country was sustained, and since you're a historian, I guess you would know this, sustained by an industrial economy at the time that was broad and deep. That created a middle class. That doesn't exist anymore. So it's an entirely different economy. I wish it.
All right, pause.
I don't really understand this. Like,
that point is
we're more industrialized now.
That point makes no sense.
A lot better. Production
that point makes no
is way
sense.
higher.
Makes no fucking sense. This guy's a dumb fuck. But you can tell, especially when Tucker Carlson goes like, I don't know, I'm interested in, like, you can tell Tucker's getting a little agitated and is a little uncomfortable, and it's, oh god, this guy's so good. Slay.
I mean, does this guy have like much like I guess, is this like a debate? Is this like, how much debate skill does he even have? Like, he's just getting destroyed right now.
Tucker just wanted to interview him on his epic meme moment from Davos, that you may have seen. I'm not sure, but
can you explain that to me? That's like the city where there is the economic forum, right, with all the rich people.
Yeah, and then he went there and basically like did a call out post live. And it kind of went viral. So then Tucker was like, "Oh, we're gonna interview this guy, and they're totally not gonna do another call out post and call out post." All right, so play.
Oh well, but that's not really an issue. I mean,
work the same way with an entirely different economy?
Well, I think it would. I mean, America is still pretty much the most powerful country in the world, right? So if it if it really would want to, it could easily crack down on tax paradises. But the thing is, I mean, you guys have brought into power a president that doesn't even want to show its own tax returns. I mean, who knows how many billions he has hidden in the Cayman Islands or in Bermuda. So I think the issue really is one of corruption and of people being bribed and of not being, not talking about the real issues. What the family, what the Murdochs basically want you to do is to scapegoat immigrants instead of talking about tax avoidance. So I'm glad you're now finally raising the issue, but that's what's been happening for the past couple of years.
And I'm taking orders from the Murdochs.
Here we go. Here we go.
No, I mean, it doesn't work that directly.
Here we go.
You've been part of the Cato Institute, right? You've been a senior fellow there for years. You've been taking their dirty money. They're funded by cock billionaires,
Wait, why don't you tell me how it does work?
Well, it works by you taking their dirty money. It's as easy as that. I mean, you are a millionaire funded by billionaires. That's what you are. And I'm glad you now finally jumped the bandwagon, of people like Bernie Sanders and AOC. But you're not part of the solution, Mr. Carlson. You're part of the problem, actually.
Ooh.
But can I just say?
I love this.
It's true, right? It's true, right? That all the anchors on Fox, they're all millionaires. How is this possible? Well, it's very easy. You're just not talking about certain things.
Fox doesn't even play where you are.
It doesn't play where you are.
Oh my god!
Heard of the internet. I can watch things whatever I want.
Have you heard of the internet?
I have, actually. I can't say I'm a great fan of your show, but I do my homework when you invite me on your show. So, I mean, you're probably not going to air this, but I went to Davos to speak truth to power, and I'm doing exactly the same thing right now. You might not like it, but you're a millionaire funded by billionaires, and that's the reason why you're not talking about these issues.
But I am talking about these issues.
Yeah, only now. Come on, you jumped the bandwagon. You're all like, oh, I'm against the globalist elite, blah, blah, blah. It's not very convincing, to be honest.
Why don't you go yourself, you tiny brain, and I hope this gets picked up, because you're a moron. I tried to give you a hearing, but you were too annoying for me.
You can't handle the criticism, can you?
Oh my god.
Yes.
There's a war where they're trying to criminalize political expression.
Alright, just mute this part. I just like fucking Tucker Carlson. Oh my god, that's so good! God! So fucking amazing, though. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can tell he is not used to that kind of, situation.
Of course! Though. Y'all definitely should follow Rucker. Like, this guy's, awesome. Like, I followed him on Twitter, and I'd recommend you do the same. Because he's pretty cool.
Hell yeah. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah, no, anyone who slays Tucker like that, deserves any follows. So, fuck me, that is just... Oh, that's so good.
What do you think would happen if the 70% marginal tax rate, went through? Do you think, I don't know, do you think that'd be good?
Yeah.
Obviously it should be good, right? But, is there, are there any loopholes here?
I mean, that's other discussion, on tax avoidance and stuff.
Right.
Like what he was saying.
That, kind of freaks me out, just, you do this thing that should work, and, there's so many loopholes and so many,
Yeah, that's the thing, if America wanted to crack down, they could, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't, because they don't.
Putting into law, I mean, that only goes so far. These people are so rich, they can, they have so much influence and power over, all of this policy. And it's just, I don't know, that's scary.
Yeah? He's got some tweets
even
here.
when we do, get a win, you don't really win.
Mm-hmm. He's got some tweets here that are, kind of a little post-game recap that, just check out, and I'd recommend following the guy. And, yeah, no, I don't think... Really good stuff here. Really good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Now that's good journalism.
Mm-hmm. Agreed? God, slay. Speaking of slaying, and this is probably this is not the best segue. This is not the best segue, that's for sure. But on the subject of slaying, holy fuck. Oh my god. Just go to the fucking. Can you?
The Twitter?
No, I just wanted to get the picture up. Coast Guard lieutenants arrested, accused of planning terror attack. What in fucking tarnation? What in tarnation?
Yeah, I mean, this is just fucking absurd.
Look at these fucking guns. Like, and the thing about this is that this guy lives like half an hour away from my house, which is like crazy. But like, I want it, like, he had a list. He was building a list, and the list is what is interesting here, because obviously, again, just a reminder, 100% of extremist violence in 2018 was committed by or murders rather, was committed by right-wingers, and this is just another example. And to go into the level of complete and utter cringe that these people are, they're conflating people like fucking Chris Cuomo and Nancy Pelosi with like Elizabeth Warren and AOC. Like, imagine a world where Nancy Pelosi and Elizabeth Warren are the same on policy. That's what these right-wingers think. They think that everything with a D on it is just D for demon! You're a demon! Like, that's literally all they think, and it's just
You're
like...
a demon.
I am. I am. And I'm 30 minutes away from this guy's house, so... Oops. But no, I mean... It's just like the cringe, like, conspiracies of like, really? Chris Hayes and AOC? Really? You know?
Does it make like the Pocahontas reference to Elizabeth Warren that like Donald Trump always does?
I think so.
Because like that's like, I don't know, that's kind of cringe.
Here's another part that's interesting. He apparently was emailing things to people and refers to himself as a long-time white nationalist dating back 30 years. So this guy was in the Coast Guard for 30 years as a white nationalist, and imagine the kind of damage that just did on its own that like could have culminated in this.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
Like, this guy is seriously, like, honestly, like, debating and like thinking about how do I cause as much destruction towards these people on my list as possible. And like, that's just like terrifying.
It's terrifying, obnoxious, and absolutely fucking awful. What is, like, I don't really have anything else to say about this other than like, this is the world we live in. So
I mean, yeah. What you looking at?
Nothing. I'm in shock and awe.
You're in shock?
Shock and awe.
I also, like, this guy can get, like, 15 guns. Is that, like, uncommon? Like, I don't know, I feel like getting and acquiring, like, that should...
If you're in a, like, position like Coast Guard, you know, there's a lot less restrictions.
Yeah, that's true. Like, if you're in that position, you can kind of, like, go into the radar a lot more.
That's why white nationalists become police officers, Coast Guard. That's why they do that, because they want that access.
Plus, they also get a lot of power, like, on, like, just, like, in general, like, you are, like, I don't know, like, you're generally a respected, like, officer, I suppose. Like, you will get away with a lot of stuff in that kind of position of power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And you also get to like use that power like throughout your like day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like again, imagine the 30 years of damage that he did.
Yeah, like no kidding, like a literal white supremacist as like a Coast Guard, just goddamn
ridiculous.
Just doing his job though, like Bill Maher says.
Bill Maher.
Or Maher.
The mayor of Bill.
That age is really throwing me off.
Yeah. Fuck Bill Maher. Alright, so
You seem dogged out.
I am dogged out. Maybe I'll need a bathroom break. Hey now! Hey now! Did you like that one? That was good, huh?
What's
hey
up?
now. We're doing the bathroom thing.
What do you mean we're doing the bathroom thing? Why are we doing the bathroom thing?
We're doing the bathroom thing. We're discussing the bathroom thing right now.
What are you talking about?
The speedrunning bathroom thing.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah.
I was a little skeptical whether we wanted to talk about this, but I mean it's here, and
No, I had a good segue and I'm doing it. So
you had a good segue.
I had a good segue, so I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So, what do you think? Should there be maybe not mandatory breaks, but just the ability to take a break without any sort of penalty in long games, like 8-hour runs, you know?
I mean, I think it's totally up to the game, you know? If the game has breaks already in it, like, then I don't think it's necessary. But, like, some games don't have breaks for 4 hours or longer.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you're kind of just, like, screwed.
Yeah.
Doggy.
Hi.
Like, a lot of people are not in favor of this whatsoever. Like, this is not a popular, like...
Yeah, as you can see, it's 0 points.
A lot of people have the position of, like, you can just, like, go to the washroom and take your time loss. Like, fuck you. But, like, I also think, like, it's good to recognize that, like, this, like, that kind of thing just incentivizes, like, not going to the washroom if you have to.
Yeah, a lot of people are just saying, oh, Final Fantasy has a break time, you know? And it's like, first of all, Final Fantasy isn't the only game that exists. And, like, second of all, I think if there's a segment where a game has, like, 4 hours of continuous play, or rather, like, every 4 hours, I think, you know, is probably a good idea. And again, it's really, you know, it doesn't have to be mandatory. It's all about just, like, giving an option. So, like, if you just need to go pee or fucking whatever, you can just pause the timer and just fucking go. You know, like, I used to be kind of an RTA purist, but then, you know, who cares?
Right, like, I understand, like, the purist aspect. Like, it is good to, like, I love the idea of, like, so you buy the game, right? Mm-hmm. And you have, like, everything set up, like, you're a casual player, and then you can just, like, start the timer and, like, beat the game in, like, a ridiculously low time, and, like, that's a kind of a nice appeal. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's ultimately, like, somewhat arbitrary now. Like, a lot of games are moving towards, like, just, like, crazy, like, rule sets, and, like, take, for instance, you want to speedrun Ocarina of Time, right? And you have your N64 with, like, your original copy of the game and your original controller. You cannot get the world record in any of the categories because the N64 version is not the one that's played on competitively because it's technically slower. You also, if you wanted to buy another console, you'd have to buy a Wii and you'd have to mod it, essentially, to play the Japanese version. And then you'd also need to buy a third-party adapter so that you can more easily do the tricks that are, like, required in the run to, like, go fast enough. Mm-hmm. So, like, there's this big list of stuff you need in order to, like, even compete on, like, the top end. Mm-hmm. So, like, the idea of just, like, plugging in the controller and, like, getting a very good time is just, like, not something that's even realistic in a lot of communities as it stands.
Counterpoints? I think faster versions should be standardized as long as there's not a major issue with them.
Right. So, like, in this case, I would say there actually is major issues with the fastest version of Ocarina of Time. Because the control stick itself is just, like, broken. And they go around that by using a third-party adapter. So, like, I don't really know how that sounds.
That's definitely interesting.
And then also, the Virtual Console version, like, just crashes randomly, as opposed to, like, an actual functioning, like, copy of, like, the N64 version.
No, yeah, that's definitely interesting.
So it's like a mix-up of, like, well, I mean, more people prefer the Virtual Console because it's faster, and, like, there are ways to make it comfortable to play. But also, like, as it, like, as a vanilla copy, it's just like way worse.
Yeah. I also think that it can be a game by game basis, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, everything is game by game.
Like, one of my other
stands.
things is, like, I don't care about leaderboards really anymore, so, like, if a leaderboard has stupid-ass rules, like, it's just like, I don't care, I'll just play my game the way I want to play it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of
I think
my
that's
perspective.
a good personal, like, perspective to have, because, like, you shouldn't get caught up in, like, a lot of the rules, and, like, it shouldn't, like, personally affect you, like, that much, because it is just a game, but it's also, I think it's good to, like, take it seriously and, like, not have, like, dumb rules as it stands.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't be in a situation where, like I want to run a game and I have to do it in, like, a way that is, like, against the popular opinion or whatever.
For a counterpoint, the Spyro and Crash community does what they call, like, Sprash Vector races, where they do 100% for all 6 games in the PS1. And in those, they do require mandatory break time. So
Do they? So this is a common, not a common, but this is a thing.
This is something that has happened. So in those, I think that for the top runners are like 10 hours or something, for reference. So like it's like, oh, you want to take like a 10-minute break in between each game. So like that's kind of like their mentality or whatever. But yeah, so like this is a thing that does happen, and I do agree with it. I do think that there should be a lot more ease of access and ease of life things, but they shouldn't get in the way of the actual game. So like I think pausing the timer at like a designated spot, like maybe if you want to have like, if you want to choose a break, everyone has to take a certain cutscene or whatever a certain time, and that's their allotment. So like you can't just take a break willy-nilly, you can't pause whenever you want, you know what I mean? Like everyone has to like come to a community consensus, like, you know, whatever is typically around 3 hour 57, you can just pause here when that cutscene starts and then take a break. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I think a good standardized like break system in those type of games is like would be the benefit, like would be a good thing to do, like, as opposed to just like, if you could take a break, like a minute long break, you could just take it during like a time where you want to like think about your strategy, and like if you get into like a bad situation, you can just like, okay, I'm taking my break, and then you're just like sitting there like, what do I do? And
Yeah.
you're, like on the fly routing and like kind of just abusing the bathroom break. That's like allotted for that.
Yeah, so I think definitely like specific segments of the game should have that kind of break thing. Everyone agrees on is not of any particular possible negative. That's my opinion on this. I do think it's an interesting subject. It's disappointing that Reddit seems to I don't know, do this.
It's weird because, in a sense, this is like a total purist argument, and then the other games and other stuff is like totally against the purist argument, and like I don't see anybody like kind of making a big stink there. They kind of just like, I don't know. I mean, after all, it is game by game, so like saying every game should have like a break, or if it's this long, is kind of like ridiculous. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on this subject matter.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like in line with like Turbo, like where like you would like, it's introduced in a way, so like it's supposed to be good for the player, but it like I guess it could be abused in a way.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely curious for definite.
Definitely curious.
Yeah. But on the subject matter, I have to take a bathroom break. So if you wanna mingle with the chat for like the post little few minutes, I'll throw that up if you want.
All right.
So if anyone has any questions for our wonderful co-host, I'll also have to make sure my GameCube is not broken. So I'll report back in just a moment.
Does anybody here love the GameCube? Puck got cucked when that European guy dunked on him. That is a perfect, like, sentence there. I was never really into the GameCube so much, but I think there is a few good games on there. I'm a big fan of the Pokemon game on the GameCube. I think that was really awesome. And like, I'm kind of sad that there hasn't been like a big console Pokemon game in like since the GameCube era. And I'm not really into handhelds so much, so I haven't really like played much Pokemon since then. Yeah, like Pokemon Colosseum. I mean, I had Gale of Darkness, but from what I've heard, they're somewhat similar. Doggy.
Alright, what do we got?
Nothing. Your camera's all messed up.
No, yeah, I know. Alright, what do we got?
What's up?
I don't know. Is the show over?
How was your break? Do you feel?
So I've been really strategizing about what we're gonna do next.
Yeah?
Yeah. No.
What's that?
I'm not strategizing about anything.
I even lied to.
Yeah. I don't know what the best time is for the live show. Not that many people showed up this early compared to the last one, but
I think this is a bit too early, but this is also one of the only times that works for me at the moment, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not like it's a huge issue. But I mean, most of it's not really supposed to necessarily be like a super interactive broadcast, so it doesn't necessarily matter when we stream it, unless we're doing like one of these like post-little segments. But yeah, I think that'll probably about wrap us up for the evening, for the day. I always say evening and tonight, even when it's like 12:51 p.m. Good night, everyone.